welcome back to my channel. So I'm back in the Philippines and changed my hair color. Lol. Anyway, I'm doing this like year-ender video because I've thought about it while flying home that I really wanted to talk about all of the journals that I've used this year, and every year I try to experiment on what I would use, what I didn't use, what I ended up not using. So I will link my 2018 journals video down below so you can compare. But this video is gonna be like a review of sorts of what did work for me, what didn't, and what I will probably use in the coming year, which I've already prepared, and surprisingly they're all different. I'm not using any of these notebooks that I have here. So let's start with the the most popular one, which is my bullet journal. I wasn't able to talk about this during my journals video because this was a last minute idea that I wanted to use it. Well, ideally I don't do bullet journaling, but this year I have learned to appreciate it more, and I don't do fancy templates and stuff, but I did meet a lot of bullet journaling artists over the past couple months, and I really enjoyed hearing insights from them and how you can probably change up some stuff and not be just, you know, complacent on what you see online. So I managed to use 3/4 of this, and they're mostly very, you know, it's not pretty. I did say this was for work, and honestly, what I did like about this journaling system was I had this future log, which was also very it changed over the past couple of months, and I didn't actually bring this to New York, so I used this from January to August. And I like how I was able to make like a music on repeat list, which are things that I like talking about, coffee places that I've tried, books, film series, which I haven't really updated for now, and some of the purchases that I've done. In terms of planning, I liked how I have like monthly focus spreads, which this was one of the more decent ones that I did. And I think it really helped me have an overview of how my month looked like. What I didn't like about bullet journaling in general is it's fully customizable, which is both a good and bad thing, because sometimes I really don't have time to sit and plan it. But by doing this, I have learned how to sit still on Sunday nights and really plan my week and make sure that I put things as planned. And I'm not really a neat freak, so my bullet journal is not neat, which I found really kind of, you know, my OC self is kind of cringing because, you know, I am a neat freak generally. So this was like a hit or miss for me. If I would do it next year, I would probably use a different notebook because I found this a bit heavy, and I don't bring a lot of notebooks right now. When I go out, I just bring one. And I don't know if I will use a Leuchtturm, but definitely will still use a dotted journal. I'm still thinking if I should settle for MUJI or the Midori MD paper one. So yeah, that's it. I don't know what to give this. I don't know if I should rate this or something, but I would give it like 4 out of 5 stars. Well, critic anyway. Okay, so moving on to my other journal. This one is actually a planner. It's the Hobonichi Weeks. I have mentioned this a couple of times. I decided to get one because I like the lengthwise orientation. And it's also very compact. And I really wanted to use this for personal planning, which meant no work and basically some sort of, because I stopped with daily journaling this year, and this would be more of like a what happened in a week kind of thing. I also had some notes at the end because there were like extra 20 pages of just plain grid pages, which I ended up writing about like my tarot readings, some thoughts, some stuff I've written down from articles that I've read. I liked how I really made time to prepare this because some of the spreads I really liked, and I really had like a theme, and it's nice because it's very low maintenance. But in terms of because I didn't bring this to New York, which I regret, I should have brought it. But in terms of the orientation, I realized that the boxes are just too small for me because I do a lot of things, and I think I would prefer a layout that would have like this whole spread be used for the whole week instead of just this part. But I do like this whole concept of this one designing like this spread, which I always do, and like do updates, and I do a lot of like, I put quotes, put stickers, films I watched this week, and other things. Overall, I ended up not getting this for next year because I got a new journal. I will talk about it on my future videos, but I did like this, and I just found it, I don't know if I maximized it as much. That's why I wouldn't buy it again. But if you ask me, like in 2020, I would use it again. I also particularly, I had like a pink phase this past year, but now it's sort of shifted to yellow because I don't know, I love sunflowers and it's my current like go-to color. But I like this pink. I also liked how, I don't know, it's just so compact and easy to use, and it's always on my desk, always. This one and my bullet journal, so there. So since we're talking about this pink thing going on, I did show this journal during my Midori 2018 journals flip through. This was ideally my alternative to daily journaling because I didn't have time to journal daily. So, and I also found it exhausting because the more I remember every day, the more stressed I get because I do have a lot of work to do. So I ended up not finishing this, which I regret, but I did manage to fill up some stuff. And I think in terms of the color, I had a hard time journaling because the color was pink. I don't know if that's a factor, but I really am particular with my colors of paper. I don't even like pearl white. I want like creamy white, ivory white, whatever. I don't know, but just like this room, it looks white, but we actually painted it like a creamier white so it wouldn't get too dirty. So I don't know if that has like any effect on this, but yeah, I think like journaling this was really complicated for me. I found it more of a chore than enjoying it because I thoroughly enjoyed with the Hobonichi. So I think if I don't like it as much, I probably shouldn't do it again. So those are my thoughts. Oh, and this one is probably, I'd give it a 4.5 over 5 stars. This one, 2.5 over 5 stars. Wow, what a harsh critic. Anyway, this journal, it's not really a journal, it's actually my plans notebook. I don't remember when I first wrote here. Okay, April 30, 2017. This was when I was thinking of what to write next in terms of my book. So I did work on my first self-help book, so which is Always Be Creating. And this one was sort of like a guide to how it would look like and some sort of like random stuff. But this wasn't fully used properly, which I found disheartening, but also because I realized that this page count is not a lot. Did they say how many? Okay, it doesn't say, but it's pretty thin, and I think I'm not good at using thin notebooks. I just realized it. So sorry, we have like weird sounds here every morning. So yeah, I don't know if I like it. So even if the grid was it's really nice. I mean, look at it's very light and the square is pretty good, but overall I wouldn't use this again, mostly because I wasn't able to pin down what really the purpose of this notebook was. Sometimes if I do that, it means the notebook doesn't come out productively as expected, which is kind of sad, but also like a good realization that I should probably stop buying notebooks and stop buying this kind of notebook. But honestly, I really like this kind. Maybe the smaller one would fit me better if I need a pocket one. That's A6, this is A5. So I don't know, this is probably like 1.5 over 5 stars. Sorry, not sorry. And then lastly, I have this like for a time I had like a whole Rollbahn phase. This was, I think, spanning from 2017 to 2018, early this year, because I've been seeing Rollbahn all around, and I've been to Japan several times the past couple of years. So this is actually a made in Japan, but the word Rollbahn is German, and everything here is German. So I don't know. I mean, come on, I love Germany and Japan. Their stationery is pretty good. But this one is manufactured in Japan. It's manufactured by a brand called Delphonics, which has the best notebooks. I have not tried their pens, but they also have like really pretty envelopes. I do have one of them, like plastic envelopes to store your stationery items. This one also is the paper is very creamy. It's like yellow creamy. And the grid is pretty good. And although I never used them, the pages were perforated. And each page is perforated, which is easy if you're the type who likes to tear stuff. But anyway, this one I decided to, I also didn't know what to do with it because initially it was gonna be my bullet journal, but I ended up using my Leuchtturm. So I did end up using this as like a content notebook, meaning because I didn't want my bullet journal to have all of my video ideas and like Instagram content ideas and basically ways to promote my books and other stuff that I did do. So I ended up using this for random ideas, which not every idea was used, but at least I have like a bank where I can like put them. And I do have some notes here about some of my talks, some of the talks that I've also watched, because I did binge watch on a lot of talks last year to early this year because I did a talk, I spoke in Graphica Manila, and I was like hella nervous. So I had like a lot of notes here, but I didn't use this whole notebook, which I felt bad. I did use it during the last few days. I was still here before going to New York. But yeah, half of it I didn't use. There's also like a cool clear book style, like clear pockets at the end of the notebook, which I don't know if I found useful, but I did save some pages here, but you could probably use it for like receipts or something. Overall, this notebook, if I had my way, I would have used it better, but there's also a smaller size which I ended up getting, and I haven't filled that up yet. But overall, this one, I would say I didn't use it to its maximum potential. So this gets like a 3 out of 5 stars for me. So I did realize that I didn't use that much notebooks this year compared to the other years that I had more notebooks, which honestly I don't know if I should be still using this much. Next year I plan to have like 3 max for everything, like for personal planning, for work planning, and maybe for like journaling. I don't know, I haven't really fleshed out what I wanted, but from this year to next year, I did figure out that, first of all, I don't know if like a fully customizable journal is fit for me. Second of all, obviously I cannot have a planner that has small boxes, or at least I could have one that's probably undated, because it's just like, let's be real guys, I have so many work tasks in a day, so I don't know if that's enough to make sense of my planning, and I don't want to congest all this information in like tiny boxes. And third is, I realized that the optimal size for me is still A5, and I would prefer like this one. I like this, but I wish it were a bit wider. So ideally my size is like A5, A6. I will never do an A4. So those are my reviews. I don't know what notebooks you managed to use this year, but do let me know in the comments below because I'd love to hear more about it. I'm actually keen on, just a teaser, I'm using Field Notes and what's that brand? MD next year. So I have no idea what to expect, and I have not done my assignments for each notebook. I will do that in the next couple of days, but I'm probably gonna upload this like 2-3 days before the year ends. So I hope this video gives you some insight on what journals you can use also for the next year. And again, let me know what you think, and I'd love to talk about it on the comments below. So I'll see you soon. See you guys on my next video, which is, yeah, gonna be in a few days. Bye!